Coming at you live from DNHQ3 in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is This is a Blue Heaven podcast. And it's officially the off-season, and we are powered by the Overtime Podcast Network. But, guys, it's officially the off-season. Do you have the excite?
It's off-season season.
Oh. And I'll give him the clap for that. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Thanks. We are dedicated to what are we dedicated? Why are we here? Happy Halloween, guys. I am Real FRG on Twitters and Instagrams. You can call me Clint on also Twitters and Instagrams.
And I'm at BrookMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. And we are missing trick-or-treating for this.
Yeah, we were totally going to trick-or-treat.
Dress up and what do you take, pillowcases? Is that what you do when you're poor like me?
I think so.
That's what I did.
Pillowcases.
We didn't grow up with money. We didn't get buckets.
Pillowcases just filled with bars of soap is how I think it's supposed to go.
That's a different age group.
All right. Why don't you tell them what's on the show today there, Chiefo?
On today's show, baseball is over.
Hold on. Wait. I have it. Back to you in the studio.
For the fourth straight year, the Dodgers lose to the World Series champions. Yay!
You've been hanging out with Fox Sports or what?
Yeah, I really hate Fox more than anything right now. We got a couple things. It is the offseason. The Nats are the World Series champions. It's a very weird thing to say. I never thought I'd say that.
I don't think
free agency round one.
Yeah, this is
round one.
The official preliminaries.
That's all we're going to talk about all offseason long until spring training starts. And then we're still going to talk about it. Because people probably won't be signed still. Kenley's 2020 contract status.
He did a thing, guys.
He did a thing.
One
and
of those
more, because there's plenty to talk about in the offseason. And there's a lot that you guys are probably going to want to talk about in the offseason.
And our boy SD Dodger Tim will be joining us on the cellular device in a little bit. But first, you guys can join us other ways. Like, you guys see that bug over there, Sportscaster at sportscaster.com. You can look like a pro, sound like a pro, be cool people that podcast on Halloween instead of trick-or-treating with sacks of soap. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Anyways, if you want access to live things and streaming and gaming and you want to be your own broadcaster mainly, if you want to talk sports like us, just not while we're doing it because that's not cool. This is our thing. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, Reggie. I'm assuming it's Reggie probably. Go to sportscaster.com today. That is CASTR.com today. And don't forget.
I was going to say something else before I told you to not forget it's a live stream. But
my bad.
I'll just tell you guys. Don't forget it is a live stream, guys. So make sure you drop your comments wherever you're watching, whether it be on Periscope or Facebook or, everything else. Perez is on Twitch. He's probably not on yet. Hopefully he's with his kids or something like that. I don't know if he has kids. I don't know Perez very well.
We got Hatfield in the stream. What's going on? Brian, how you doing, buddy? Happy Easter.
He said ladies. He called us ladies.
Yeah.
You see what he did there?
Because Hatfield's a very long time friend of the show. Juice, of course, says Dodgers 2020 World Series champions, and that's coming out in Vegas. But Caesars Sportsbook is saying they have Stros, Dodgers, and Yankees have odds-on favorites. I don't know in which order it is.
It sounds like a repeat of the past 4 years.
I know, right? They're really
I'm not looking at any odds ever again in my entire life because it's a waste of time. I'm done with it, guys. Brian Hatfield also says pitching.
Yes. Caston is trash. Is in the stream. Says greetings. How you doing, Caston? Good to see you, buddy. Or read you, I guess.
Good to read you.
Jason Hare. Nats won with a flawed BP, but give them credit. They stepped it up. And I guess we can kind of Janet, we're going to get to your Harper bit in a second, too. But when we jump in here to the World Series, we can kind of use that as a stepping point. What was it? 82, 83% of the Nats innings this postseason were by Strasburg and, like 5 people pretty much. I think it was Strasburg, Scherzer, Corbin. The lefty guy Doolittle and our boy, good close personal friend of mine. What's his name? Dan Hudson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was it.
That's definitely not the normal model for success in the playoffs. No. So they found a way. I thought most interesting, they were the first team in any sports to win all 4 games on the road in a best-of-7 series. First team in any sport to do that.
Well, it was the first any teams in any sport or first 7-game series to have no home team wins, which is really
pretty
weird.
Wild. So it was just a weird
the way
World
you draw
Series,
it up.
But
But
that's how you plan it.
The lesser evil one. That's the important thing. Bless up, Nats. So we got together last night for some sports ball practicing, and all of us are like pulling up to the ballpark right around the time Howie hits his homer, and like you normally don't feel that kind of jubilation for the wrong team. But sometimes it's nice.
It feels dirty.
It does feel dirty, which it gives it a different kind of like excitement, I guess. But
you don't want to get caught.
I don't want to get. No, that's the funny thing. Like we talked about last week, all of our Twitter people, you see everybody on there. We're all very openly rooting for the Nats, and it's weird and it's dirty, but it's cool and it's exciting, I guess. Whatever, but I had actual human emotion towards positive human emotion go for Howie hitting that bomb that just barely clipped. Yeah, that was. I mean, it's cool. Again, you want your boys to see that. You want your boys to be there. But at the same time, I was thinking about today. Maybe this is just one of those points where the Dodgers needed that step back to look and see. Oh crap! This is what we've been doing wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
they do it. They play to win.
The recipes for success the past couple of years have been entirely different from what the Dodgers do. Mm-hmm. It's nothing that they do. So you got the Nationals who. I don't really know what they did except invest into pitching, which investing into pitching is always a good investment in my opinion, and especially in baseball. Carries you all the way through the playoffs. Generally speaking, pitching gets you through the playoffs and gets championships. Boston, same thing. Invested into pitching. They just happened to have a very good offense. Invested heavily into pitching, though. Houston in 2017, not as invested into pitching, but had some diamonds in the roughs that they found that ended up being very good pitchers. And then, the Cubs the year before were just a team of destiny. I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. That's kind of the misconception, too, is that the Nats didn't pay for it. They did it on grit and whatever. It's like, while they were just under or
three pitchers.
Yeah, they have the most expensive rotation in all of baseball. And I mean, it showed. You got what you paid for. They went out and spent the right money in the right spots. I got Corbin. Damn, did that work. It didn't work quite against the Dodgers, but I said that a number of times before, even before leading into that. It's like this team, it looks like the Nats really built themselves to beat the Dodgers, and they got it. That's what they wanted. They did it, and then they were able to steamroll. I think anybody was going to beat St. Louis. Well, I mean, it's St. Louis. The Dodgers would have struggled, but still. Oh, boy. But big moments from that series. I think we're going to have I would say, a rule changer come out of it.
Oh, you're talking about Trey Turner?
The Trey Turner incident, where apparently you can't run straight for the base.
No, if you're running straight, you have to duck and run. That's the rule. You can't do that. I thought it was really funny that Alex Rodriguez had anything to say about it at all. If you guys remember, Alex Rodriguez was what do we call that? Slapgate? What do we call that?
Well, I call him an asshole.
The slap and stance?
Slap and stance, yeah.
There it is. When he slapped the ball out of the pitcher's hand. And for whatever reason, no call. 100% clean play.
That was bad.
That's one of the stranger plays in baseball I've ever seen missed. Just completely whiffed on that one. So A-Rod said something, and then I think Brandon McCarthy tweeted something back at him, which is hilarious. I don't know what happened with that rule. Maybe you guys see something that I don't. Umpire Association or whatever the hell they call themselves on Twitter. You guys know they have a Twitter. If you guys care, you can absolutely demolish them on Twitter if you need to. They were just like, yep, that was the right call, and here's the rule, and this is why. And it's like, I see the rule, and I see why, but that didn't happen on that play. This is entirely different circumstance. So the Trey Turner controversy, it's a good thing the Nationals didn't lose that game.
Yeah.
Because that would have been tough. They even played the game under protest, I'm pretty sure.
I think you have to at that point. Yeah. But by the law of the rule and by the lay of the land or whatever the hell you want to say, it was properly enacted, but you have to have some real chutzpah to want to call that rule, enact that rule in that particular situation where, what was it, an inning two before or after, whenever the hell it was, you had Altuve, who did the same exact damn thing, but because our future Dodger, Anthony Rendon, is a better third baseman, he threw a better play than LD, what's his name, Alex Bregman.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. On a judgment call in that high stress, high leverage of a situation on the biggest stage of baseball, your judgment call should probably, be pretty conservative. you let the kids play.
Let the kids
Isn't
play.
that's what they
No,
say, right?
that's very poorly throwing your bat at your first base coach. I think that's letting the kids play.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I really liked when Soto did it. I didn't really care when Bregman did it. I don't really care about that crap. Do whatever the hell you want.
Soto's
if you
want
to take your bat, chuck it as high as you can into the air, like 100 feet in the air. Do whatever you want. I don't care. You hit a home run, do what the hell you want. But Soto's like mocking. That was great. I like that one a lot.
He's like, oh, that was cool. I wanted to do it too. It's like, sure you did, Wani.
Yeah.
Love that kid. Michelle Carter asks, when is game 8? I'm not ready for baseball to be over. I mean, for realsies, though. We start softball next week. I mean, if you guys want to watch really, really bad sports.
We're pretty bad.
Hatfield said the only time this season that the Stros lost 4 straight games at home. That's my response to that. Take that. AJ on the guitar in the stream says the Nationals have more World Series championships than home World Series game wins. That's a hot tweet right there.
That's impressive. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that.
Hey, apparently we're Dodger Bros. Ray Barsemian says, "Hey Dodger Bros, best show on the nets. Well, not on the nets, but on the net. Dodger Bros.
Beard man.
Still got to make that stupid shirt. All right, what else we got? All right, I think one of the other things, as I'm poorly transitioning because I'm doing a lot, we're missing our producer this week. Keep him in your thoughts because he had
his
some
stomach blew up.
He had some his appendix issues this week, and well. I've been giving him crap offline, but I would do the same exact thing. If I've had this pain, it'll probably go away eventually. No, it doesn't. It kind of blows up on you. So
well, don't tell me that because I'm a hypochondriac. So any pain, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna die. This is it, guys. And then I WebMD it, and it's like, oh, you have a headache? You're dying.
Super cancer.
Mega ultra back cancer. And I'm like, no. So. To each their own, I guess.
But from this series and everybody on the internet, how great it's been to pool all of our powers together. Obviously, people have trolled the Astros a lot, and they very much deserve it because F them kids. But the magic of the Bryce Harper memes. He did it, guys. He did exactly what he said. Bryce Harper brought a title back to D.C.
He did it.
He was the problem.
I'm proud of him. I mean, he spoke it into existence. He knew what he wanted. He said it out loud, and it happened.
How much of a gut punch can this be for him?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, let's listen.
Gather around, everybody.
If you pay me $300 million, I don't care what happens after that. I'll say that.
I guess. I mean, but
okay,
still.
Listen, you think, but wait till you have $300 million sitting in your bank account.
First round draft pick.
Dude,
you grew up with that team. You came up with that team. You fought in the trenches. You did all this. You sort of made the playoffs a couple of times. You lost to the Dodgers a number of times. You've been doing this with these boys for this long. And the second you're like, I mean, to be fair, he wanted to stay. The contract wasn't exactly fair. It was going to be super deferred. And who was it? Heyman who was coming out? Is it Heyman who tweeted like they treat their team, treat their players fair? That was a bit of an oof on the tweet, but that's a gut punch, man. Like imagine leaving your unchampionship softball. Imagine leaving Netflix and chill right now
for $300 million.
For $300 million, and then we go and win the championship.
Deal. I'll take last place every time.
Maybe it's not quite the same, but
I'm driven by money. I don't know about you, but by the way, the Braves will not be picking up Billy Hamilton's $7.5 million option. In case you guys were worried about that, I don't know how Billy Hamilton still has a job.
They needed outfielders at the time. Francisco brings up a point that I think we're all struggling a little bit with, but ex-Dodger Brian Dozier got a ring. A bunch of ex-Dodgers got a ring, and several Dodger killers got a ring with the Nats. As we're about to wrap up our Nats talk here and take a quickie break while we get Mr. Tim Rogers on the horn here. But what did Dozier do wrong to not really get played in the World Series or in the playoffs. Like, was Asdrubal Cabrera that much better? I thought Dozier was like a good defender. Did he have knee problems again? What happened?
I think he still obviously has the knee problems, but Asdrubal Cabrera he's actually one of the worst playoff hitters of all time. Other than Corey Seager, actually. Did you see that stat that came out of like the top 50 all time and the worst 50?
I know personally, deep down in my soul, like the worst.
Corey Seager's pretty bad, yeah. But JT actually was like top 3 of all time. It's like Ortiz, Pujols, and JT, which in my mind of historical rankings and Hall of Famers, that's right the order I put them guys. David Ortiz, Albert Pujols, and Justin Turner.
That's the way you write it up.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Dozier. So here's the good part of Dozier winning a World Series with a different team. He only had like 6 at bats, if that, I think. So he didn't actually really play.
Yeah.
So in terms of him doing worse or better for the Dodgers, he actually did better for the Dodgers in the playoffs last year.
Well, he hit that homer in Game 2 when he was inexplicably batting leadoff.
Yeah, that's a good spot for him because you don't know what the hell he's going to do every day. So what does it matter? He did not play. He had 4 at bats against the Dodgers. He had 1 at bat against the Cardinals.
He really didn't touch the ball.
And he walked. He walked in his only World Series plate appearance.
He only had 1?
He had 1.
Oh, damn.
1.
And that man has a ring. He was there dancing with the trophy and everything.
Moral support, bro.
That's like that was
he
like
got him through the season. He got him there.
That was
he hit 238.
That was like big boy. Damn, I can't think of his name right now. The Dodger who came up the day that they clinched. Not Ruiz, the other one. Rios, Edwin Rios, who it's like, hey guys, I'm here. Let's party. Woo! I earned this.
I was like,
Eddie, are you?
I think I earned it more than Edwin Rios did.
For real, we were here every week, unlike some other people out there.
I went to games and I waved at Alana Rizzo and Jerry Hosted.
No, that was last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, crap.
Where I had to text him to wave at him. Love you, Jay here. Nice kid, friend of the show. But one final note I had. Hi, Tina. We see Tina G-Man on there. Nancy doesn't want to trade Corey. We're going to get into Corey talk in a little bit. We're going to get into free agent talk. We're going to get into all the Dodger free agents who came to be today, and also some Kenley Jansen is going to be coming up in a little bit. But, and I know this guy has some hot takes, probably, maybe. I don't know. We never know with this guy.
I'm pretty vanilla. just look at me.
Yeah, literally. I have to turn the yellow up on the lights in here. But wait. I saw Heyman. Oh, Heyman's a boomer. You got called a boomer today? There? You got called a boomer on the internet today.
I did?
Yeah.
Aw. Thanks, guys.
Because you're old. But one final note is how funny has all this BS been with, like, obviously we all have seen it, and he definitely deserves it. But Clayton Kershaw gets a lot of crap for his failures, air quote, or whatever you want to call them, and transgressions in the postseason, however we want to decide to label it. But they seem to be not as mean to 0-6 in the World Series lifetime Justin Verlander, and I don't think he won a game this postseason, or if he did, he didn't win any clinching games. What up with that? That's my one part. I guess it's mostly open-ended. Like, fix your narrative baseball is one part, but you're looking at how bad JV is. Verlander didn't help this team at all, and they lost. Maybe, just maybe, guys, and we've been saying this for years, but maybe he doesn't actually help the Dodgers win a World Series in 2017. Like everybody says, if we got him instead of the other guys, blah, blah, blah. That's just again, it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't help anything. Mine asked for bringing this up. Absolutely.
Well, you're using logic there, and that doesn't make sense with Dodger fans.
Damn, you right.
He absolutely didn't even pitch that well against the Dodgers in the World Series in 2017. So logic's out the window there, buddy. But yeah, in terms of like Kershaw versus Verlander and the amount of hate he gets for playoffs, that's probably a little bit of that bias against the Dodgers. There's a little bit of media bias against the Dodgers, and I think people already know that.
Kidding me.
If you were listening to the broadcast last night when the Astros lost, there was somberness in the voices of the announcers. It was annoying. And they're like, and it looks like the Astros will not be taking it back again this year. So they're going to have to wait till next year, and the Nationals will celebrate. But the Astros, once again, will not be. It was just like, wow.
Well, it is Buck.
Yeah, well, I don't like Joe Buck. He's a Cardinals fan. So.
I don't think most people like Joe Buck. But I mean, I don't think that's so much of a hot take, honestly. Everybody.
Casting his trash says, all we know is Darvish didn't help.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
We, our boy Gary, who somehow fought the meds and wrote a nice post on our DodgersNation.com today, pointed that out. Like, that was one bulk of what the Dodgers can learn from this National Series. It's like you look at, I think there was, twice in their entire postseason where the word was that pitchers were tipping their pitches, and they figured it out like immediately. Especially I think it was Strasburg in Game 6. They figured it out after the first inning. Yet time and time again, the Dodgers can't figure that out in game.
No. We don't have people paying attention to games. That's not how it works.
Damn.
We have an interesting take here from the comments, and an excellent username as well, Mr. Crush Guts.
I love Mr. Crush Guts. Friend of the show.
Says, we
Crush
need
Guts.
more brown people on the team.
So, would that be? So, is that like?
Like more Dominicans?
No. So Ice Cube had.
Yeah.
He wants more black players on the team. That they need it to win and get the right chemistry. And I could see that seems like I guess a George Lopez thing. Who's the leader of us brown folks? And I could say that.
He's a technical brown folk. I couldn't tell you. I know the white people aren't allowed to have a leader, so I can't really compare it.
Anyway, moving right along. The smooth man 14 says racist. And I mean, definitely a little bit. But joining us on the phone is our good pal, Mr. SD Dodger himself, Tim Rogers. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, the real off season's here, so we're feeling. I don't know how you feeling, Brooke.
I'm good. I'm tired. Tim, what are you dressed up as today? What are you wearing?
Well, not much. No.
Hell.
Damn.
Yeah. Hello.
Coming at you
Hey,
live.
wait, I do have my Jackie Robinson socks on. So.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You
Only-
didn't take David trick or treating or anything?
Only his socks.
Actually, he's got a show tonight. We're going to.
Ooh.
Oh, fancy.
He's playing. Yeah.
Well,
I think
guys.
his band's like Austin Barnes Sucks or something like that.
That's a good band name.
They have beef, guys. In case people didn't know on the internet, Tim and I should probably switch the camera. I got another scene for you, but yeah, they don't get along. Barnes and Baby Rogers, we're gonna call him Baby
Baby SD Tim.
Baby SD Tim. But well, we're finally here. It's the day we've been waiting for since October 9th. It's real off-season time, and Dodgers have free agents out there now. Rich Hill's gone. Russell Martin's gone. Ryu's gone. Officially, David Freese, even though we know Freezer, rest in peace, is retiring. We love you. We will always love you. Plus, the legend, Jed Jerko, will eventually be a free agent once his ungodly $13 million contract option is declined.
How can you assume that they're not going to pick that up? Who do you think
bargain,
you are?
man.
Whomst are you?
Bargain. But both of you guys, let's go with you on this one, Tim, because you're the guy on the phone here. Do you see any of these guys coming back?
I wish that Ryu would be back. I don't, with Boris and all that. I don't see that guy even signing till probably March.
Yeah.
I think Hill's probably the best shot, but it can't be where we're even black, taking up a 40-man roster spot. They got so many kids coming up. Maybe like a 1 year, $2 million that they sign in March or something like that, so they can keep a 40-man spot open for some of these kids. I'd love Russell back because that means we get rid of Barnes, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And we get our best bullpen piece back if we do get Russell Martin. So that's another key point.
That is true.
Give me a point.
He's going to shut it down during spring training.
Man, he should have. He should have been pitching in the DS. I would have taken his
Stinking
ass
eighth inning,
over
man.
that second inning of Joe Kelly.
Yeah.
Too soon, guys.
Yeah.
My bad.
Guys, I'm still sad.
No, but it sounds like you're right there about. I think that's really the consensus. With Ryu being that guy, being that Boris guy. Although he's not wearing that hat like Garrett Cole.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Rue is not going anywhere for a good long while unless he re-ups with the Dodgers real early. But I don't know.
He's signing with the Angels in March.
Probably, maybe.
but then he doesn't hit, so that would kind of suck. But one of the things is that I see on the sport track does a market value of Ryu. They have his value at like over $27 million a year.
Yeah,
Dodgers they're not touching that.
No. Nah.
and I've been having that conversation with people too. It's like, yeah, they paid $17 million, which was a really good deal, but is he worth more than that with the injury history and all this other stuff? Is it worth it? And no, not really.
Yeah, it'd be what? It'd end up being 3 years, $81 million or something like that. That's no way.
Yeah, plus he's 33 next year, so he might even be looking for a longer deal that gets him through to retirement or close to retirement age, whatever he's thinking that might be. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking probably with his injury history, he's going to retire a little bit earlier than he might like to. And if you're looking at that, you don't want to commit to a guy like that for that long when you have so many young guys in your system waiting to come up and ready to go. So, to me, it's probably not happening with the Dodgers. I would say that's very unlikely. Someone was like, "Oh, he'll take a short, high average deal." I'm like, "No, he's coming off his best season. Why would he do that?"
This is his last time to get years.
Exactly.
Yeah, and actually the Angels do make a lot of sense because I think they are going to spend stupid money this year.
Mm-hmm. They better.
They have no choice. They just went out and signed Madden, and they have this huge black eye to get over. And I'm not talking about Albert Pujols' contract. I'm talking about just all the problems going on over there.
Well, plus they have the best player in baseball and one of the more exciting players in baseball added to that conversation. And I'm sure with Ohtani coming over, there were a lot of promises of, we're going to add on, we're going to spend, we're not going to, deconstruct this whole team from start over again from scratch. Like, this is going to be a big thing. They proved that by giving Trout a butt ton of money, and I think they're going to keep proving that. I think they're going to start competing by adding pitching, and that's the only way they're going to get there. Mm-hmm. So look for the Angels to make a run, definitely at Cole, definitely at Ryu. And I think of the two, they're going to land at least one of those guys.
I would agree with that.
And to kind of complete the Ruth thought here, he doesn't want to leave this area because his old lady is knocked up, as the kids say. He's about to start the family and all that. He knows this is a good culture, good environment, excellent Korean community here. That it just seems like a bad time to want to uproot. So maybe he goes down to San Diego. Highly unlikely, but Anaheim is the one I think that makes the most sense. But with other free agents, this is the big one, and I know both of you guys are going to have different, varying opinions on this, but. Other big-name free agents today, although if you ask Garrett Cole, he will say it was yesterday. Garrett Cole, Anthony Rendon, I think they are by far the two biggest names. Even when Strasburg opts out, which he will. I have zero doubt he will.
He has to.
But Cole and Rendon are the biggest names. They're the platinum of the crop. Everybody else is gold. But Cole's resigned to the fact he's not going back to Houston. We were talking about that earlier. Or I brought that up earlier. That I don't know. It felt to me like he was slightly slighted by the organization, either by the fact that he didn't touch the ball in that last game, or the fact that they went out and got Greinke instead of allotting that money towards him. But to be honest, with this?
Just to finish that thought, they gave, Verlander a 2-year extension. The guy's 36 and, at over $30 million a year. So that's another slap in the face. It's like, why would you, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. They should have just let Verlander play free agency and see what happens. How many teams are going to be dumb enough to go give without even competition to go give him that money? So I don't know.
I'd say on that.
I'm glad he's mad, and let's get him off of Houston. That's for sure.
I'd say on that Verlander front, that might have been one of those things. You got us this World Series. We're going to reward you, almost like the way the Dodgers reward Kershaw for getting older. I don't know.
Yeah, but at least Kershaw is, he's a lifetime Dodger. I don't know. It's just let's just be flat out. The Astro organization is trash. At least the front office, and so that explains just about everything.
Math adds up there. I agree with that one.
But all right, let's play GM with the both of you guys. I know my take. I want to hear your guys' take. And Tim, let's lead off with you. You have a dump truck full of money, but it's only one dump truck. Are you going Rendon or are you going Cole? For the Dodgers, of course.
gosh,
Like, who are you talking about?
it's so freaking hard.
For Kansas City.
Now, yeah. For now, I got to go with Cole. I hate it, but because I know the back end of that's going to just really suck.
Yeah, because is Rendon also a Boris guy? I don't remember that.
He's a Boris guy.
He's a Boris guy.
Hate
Boris
you, Boris.
is the man.
Man, I gotta work for Boris. How do I get that job?
Kidding.
If we're asking me, which I'm assuming you are asking
yeah.
me because I am up next, and that's how that works. Here's the thing. I don't trust pitching. I don't trust pitching at all. And Joe Kelly taught me that, actually. So thank you, Joe Kelly. I appreciate you. It's hard for me to invest long term into a pitcher. I speak like this is my money and like I'm investing.
It is your money.
Million. Yeah, I went to a couple games this year and bought a couple beers or 5 or 12. So
that's basically
my money.
That gives you full.
I pretty much own part of the team.
Tim owns part of the team just based on gas driving up from San Diego.
That's true.
Yeah,
He went
season ticket holder, man.
That's a big old commitment, Tim. Largely, I have a problem with Garrett Cole in the sense that he comes from Houston, and they're definitely cheating in Houston, and I got a problem with that. So there's definitely some fishiness going on there. Like it or not, guys, there's definitely something going on in Houston.
Well,
you got to look at those numbers.
And the other negative about Cole, so I'm going to kind of go back a little bit, is he's had now 2 years of playoff baseball, including going this one.
Yep.
And we've seen what playoff baseball has done to Clayton Kershaw,
Yep.
Kenley Jansen, just by never having a break. And he went all the way. He threw, I think, 248 innings. That's a lot. So, to me, I do it with a high risk, knowing that high risk is there.
Yeah, definitely. And, I really, really like Anthony Rendon. I really like what a short-term, high-average deal could do for us, how it could set us up for a couple of years. I don't know how many years that would be, but you look at guys like Turner, and JT is definitely not going to be a third baseman for much longer. I don't know how much longer he's going to last there even. And so it makes sense.
That he should be done at third base.
And he should.
Yeah, and this is what casting his trash is. Rendon locks up third base for years. I do like Nelson. Nelson says, sign both Rendon and Cole. Why not?
Just both of them. Just throw all the money. Why not both? I guess we have 2 dump trucks in this scenario. But
spleen.
To add on to that, there's also the talk, and we'll get into this a little bit later. There's the talk of the Seager trade and the Lindor coming over and stuff like that. I don't necessarily buy into much of that personally, but I do think that signing Rendon to a high annual average on a short-term deal gives you the opportunity to move Seager over to third base down the line because I think he is a third baseman. I don't think he's a shortstop long-term either. And that gives you more opportunities with some of those younger guys. Tim, you know a lot of those younger guys personally, and you know that there's a lot of really good defensive infielders coming up through the system over the next couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. And fortunately, some of them actually hit right-handed.
Ooh.
It's like, wow, a balanced lineup? What do you think?
I've never had that.
That's not what we do here, Timothy.
Yeah, Jeter Downs and Omar Estevez are 2 of the guys that to keep your eye on. Thing is, I think both of them end up being second basemen, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the hot corner, a couple years further away, you got Cody. What's his name? Cody Hose. He's
Cody Hosey, man.
He's
literally Cody Hosey.
Cody Hosey's looked pretty damn good.
He's got a hosey.
Oh,
like
He's a ginger
wiener.
also.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, he's a ginger.
So there,
Yes.
boom.
Oh
That's
my
an
gosh.
easy transition. It's like mom breaking up with dad and coming home with another dad-looking guy.
We can still use the.
Is that a thing that's happening? Let us know if
call
that's
him
happening.
Toomgus or whatever they call him.
Toomgus.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That
Toomgus
works
too.
out. So you're saying Cole, I'm saying Rendon. Where are you going with it?
For me, Michael hits the nail on the head here on Facebook. Michael Magrino
you're stealing
says,
Michael's answers.
Yeah, no. For me, Bueller and Cole just sounds just so romantic together. And this team needs pitching, despite the fact that there are so many electric arms, young arms in there. I mean, the Dodgers have a way to fill in both of these holes, one way or the other. Whether it's on offense and on defense, a year from now or sometime in the middle of the year, like what we're saying with Jeter Downs, potentially that would be a pretty big leap in a year and a half. But and then we also got Dustin May, you got Tony Gonsolin, you have those type of dudes who can plug into the rotation where you don't need Garrett Cole. But imagine those dudes after Garrett Cole. Imagine a rotation where in 2021, in his final season with the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw is your number 5 starter. That's where I feel gooder. More gooders.
I honestly, so regarding that, if the Dodgers go in with Kershaw as the 1 through 3 starter, I just don't feel good about that. He's got to be the 4th starter in the playoffs, and so that's where I go. Well, give me Cole.
Yeah, but if he's the 4th starter, that fear of him pitching in relief early in the series comes out, and I think we finally solidified the fact. We've all known it, I think, now for quite some time. He's not a reliever. He's definitely
he's not a starter either.
He's not. He's a more worser reliever.
Maybe he could be an opener.
No, the problem is it takes him 2 innings to figure his stuff out.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, he gets hammered in 2 innings and then cruises for 4, and then it's 6 innings, 4 runs given up, and it's like well.
I mean, he's throwing the 87 to 91 mile an hour stuff.
Me too.
One moves a little bit more than the other. And then he throws, he may find his curveball, but he's meat until he finds his stuff. So I don't know. That's why Cole, Buehler, May, those guys bring the gas, and that at least makes things. It's not batting practice for the first few batters.
So with you wanting Garrett Cole, how did you take his post-game press conference? Because I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like his reaction to it, and that's just me personally. Like, I can see how he was a little bit slighted by things throughout the season with Greinke pickup and in not using him in big situations. But what about Clint? What did you think about it?
I get it. I don't think it was the right time to do it. You got to be there. You look at what the Dodgers did. Even some of the guys that were retiring or knew they were walking away or whatever. Everybody stood there and answered every single one of the questions. Even Kershaw, who was basically crying and had to be consoled by our former pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. He was there. He answered every one of the same stupid little questions. And you got to do that. You have to do that for your team. It was definitely a pissy attitude to have after being there for what he was there for 2 seasons. A lot of success in Houston.
Yep.
And that's not how you want to go out.
No, I hear you on that. I mean, I also go, it's kind of like Cam Newton after losing at the Super Bowl. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna cut them some slack after losing. Mm-hmm. It sucks. Losing blows, but you do got to give credit for the Dodgers the way they did that. That they're you can't help but like those guys, but trade them all if you have to.
Yeah, no kidding. It was exceptional the way the Dodgers handled it. They as professionally as they possibly could. They didn't take anything away from the Nationals. They didn't take any away from themselves. They knew it was a disappointment. They knew they'd let people down, and they took full responsibility for it. So I actually appreciate that about them.
And they have 7 years of practice doing it. Oh.
Wait. You watch your words around here, mister.
Words around here, sir. This is a Dodger talk show. With that thought in mind, I know we're talking Garrett Cole, but Steven Strasburg has an opt-out, guys. First of all, is he opting out?
Yes.
He has to.
He has to, right?
I mean,
there's no way he doesn't. Second of all, is he using that as leverage against the Nationals, who are, for the Nationals, they're in a weird spot. They just let their franchise player walk away.
Boy, did that work out.
And it actually worked out, so that's good. But at the same time, they're facing possibly losing 2 more franchise pieces.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to lose both of these guys. I can't imagine they would, but they also have to think a little bit longer term. There's a couple of other guys they're going to have to pay over the next couple of years. So, I mean, for them, do you keep Strasburg? Do you keep dealing with him and Boris and the complications that they've had with him over the past, his entire career? Or is that worth it?
Plus all of his injury histories. I mean, this is the first year he's made more than 30 starts in like 4 years.
But he was good.
But he was very good.
He was good. So, I mean, if I'm the Nationals, I'm at least offering him some. I'm offering him some money.
Yeah, what does he have? He has 4 more years. They're probably going to tack on. It's not going to be as bad as the CC Sabathia extension with New York, but it's going to be probably 2 or 3 years. I would say they extended.
I think at the end of the day, it turns into right now it's 4,100. It's going to be 5,150, something like that.
There you go. And I think he should take that if he gets that opportunity from them.
It's nice of you.
Personally.
Now you're accepting other people's money. too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for him, but that's a pretty good,
Yeah.
damn good deal. But if given the option between signing Cole and Strasburg, where would you guys go?
Like me personally, I want to go play for the team I like.
That's not what I mean. If you could sign Garrett Cole or Steven Strasburg to the Dodgers, who are you going with?
This is tough, man, because you see what I mean. Both of them were electric in the postseason. Both of them both of them are going to want all the money. They're going to want all the
Cole
years.
is gonna be
Garrett
probably-
Cole is the right answer because
Yeah.
he's younger.
That's it.
Yeah, he's
And
younger by 2 years.
and he's mostly stayed healthy in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been. He's put up a.
Jose Rod says Cole as well.
Injury.
Yeah, if they ended up, either one of them, I'd be very surprised. I mean, the reality is, you guys know the reality.
Yeah.
We're not going to get either one of them.
Well,
I'm looking at Zach Wheeler personally.
We're
Yeah,
signing Fernando Rodney.
Zach Wheeler is probably the more likely one, but then it's like, how do you really feel all that super comfortable throwing money out at the ace, C on the market? I mean, he's not even
No.
an ace.
He's not even anybody's ace.
Exactly, he's not an ace. He's the Dodgers can't do that this time. They can't just go and in each subsequent series or season, like I've said before, it seems like they're more prone to making panic signings, which is what happened last offseason for sure with Pollock and Kenley. Like we're right there. Oh, let's just do that. But I don't want to spend all that much money. We want to let's just get these guys. These guys will make sense, and then they didn't. Paul wants us to make sure we say no, Fernando Rodney. I agree 100% with that.
I think Fernando Rodney They should do a 30 for 30 on Fernando Rodney on how he kept a job in Major League Baseball his entire career, because that is phenomenal. Phenomenal, the fact he fooled people into thinking that he's an actual reliever.
Cast in his trash says Wheeler has a ton of upside.
He does.
This offseason, though, do you want to spend money on upside or guaranteed asterisk results?
Yeah, this is one of those years where you got to
This
probably
is
commit.
the biggest offseason the Dodgers will ever have, TBH. But that's
again. But you look at the history, you go, well, 2015 they signed Brandon McCarthy and Brett Anderson because of advanced metrics. Then when they lose Greinke, they sign who? Scott Kazmir, and they gave a QO to Brett Anderson. So
you're getting me real upset right now.
But guys, we had Chris Capuano.
I know.
The difference maker.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Guys,
But,
this is free agent preview 1, and we're going on this long about pitchers, man. This is gonna be a wild freaking offseason.
This is gonna be a bad offseason.
There are gonna be
No.
so many first and 10s or whatever, first and goal
We're
line.
on the 10-yard line.
10-yard
I
line.
think-
10-yard line.
I think you brought up Pollock. When they did that, all they did was clog it. Now, would you rather have Pollock or Nick Castellanos
Neither, honestly.
for the same money as Castellanos? The guy's crushes.
He's got
left-handed
a much better bat than Pollock, that's for sure. I don't know about
Exactly.
him in the field.
Well, Pollock's fielding sucks now too.
Yeah. So yeah, if we're sticking there, we're looking now. We've definitely dug into a lot of starting pitching and just pitching in general. It's funny that we can't bring up any relievers because there aren't. Outside of our boy Fernando Rodney, there aren't any premier relievers you're ever going to be able to sign in this market. But we've seen a lot of the talk now about the Frankie Lindor, about Mr. Smile being on the market. I think he got paid $16 million last year. Corey Seager got paid $4 million. He's got 2 more years left, does Seager. Let's stick on Lindor first and kind of bracket it out 2 ways. One, Tim, what's your percentage of Lindor even being traded, and secondary, the chances of him coming to L.A.?
25% that he gets traded. 10 to LA. I look at the defense and I just go, and it's a biased 10%. I want that defense on the team.
There you go.
The infield defense is not very good. It's okay.
Yeah.
But because Seager, these guys benefit by the positioning. Lindor is a natural athlete. You can do a lot more with him. And gosh, when we put Muncy at second, he's a klutz. I mean, he gets to balls, but he can't tag a guy at second base on a throw from the catcher.
But he's defensively our best third baseman, so
Well, I want Muncy. I do want Muncy at third. Regretful. I mean, it's kind of like, well, what do you pick?
Where do you put him?
Yeah, but Lindor, gosh, he's just so freaking good.
So Lindor, he has one more. I mean, he's basically under team control for one more year. He's got 2020, two more years. Sorry, he has arbitration 3 in 2021, so he's got 2 years of control.
Just like
so it's a weird. So I didn't get I just didn't get the whole thought process behind it, where it was like the Dodgers are looking at Lindor. It's like, well, that doesn't mean they're looking at Lindor for Seager and etc. That's not necessarily what that means. I don't know why the Indians would be interested in Seager if they were trading Lindor. That doesn't really make sense to me. But I will say, the Indians are in a really weird spot where they can compete or they can rebuild or they can start over again. They're in a very weird spot.
I was going to say the exact same thing, bro. Yeah. The word weird is it.
Yeah.
They were so weird last offseason, right? All these rumors, and they're going to do it again.
Yep, where they were like, we might trade our whole starting pitching staff. We might keep them all and see if we can make the playoffs. And they were like, well, we'll trade one and try to make the playoffs. And I was like, all right, you guys do you, I guess. I'm not. I don't know. For me, when I look at Lindor, I'm like, I don't think they're going to trade him. If they do, I don't think he's coming to Los Angeles. I'm probably more on your side on that, Tim, where the first time I heard it, I was like, no way.
He would be a fantastic addition to any team. It just really, he doesn't scream LA Dodger to me. Maybe because he's
gonna
good.
Look good in the blue. Oh yeah,
maybe because he's good.
We haven't had a good player in a while.
Or maybe because he's not white.
Oh wow.
The guy did say we needed more brown on our team.
Damn.
I mean, Lindor though, man. I mean, the guy is out. He's obviously a 5-tool player. The shine he's got. I mean, he's a star.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do the Dodgers want those guys anymore? You know, those types of guys that you go. You know, it just seems. You know, and I was all for getting rid of Puig. Fine with that, but I get. You know, Puig brought a lot.
Definitely.
He embraced the spotlight. I think it actually took some pressure away from some players. And Lindor, you know, he's kind of that same thing, except without he's not going to throw away the defensive cards and things like that.
It does seem like there's less. I don't want to slander Puig in any way, but there's less drama behind him. You know, with Lindor.
Yeah,
it is more focused on him for sure, and I get that. He probably deserves it a little bit because he is by far the best player on the Indians. Of course, that's like if you're the best player on the Indians, that's like being the best ice skater in South America. Like it just doesn't really add up, and it doesn't really make sense.
That's where you went with this.
I didn't know where else to go with it. Yeah, to be honest with you,
so that's how little it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. With Lindor specifically. I would, like you said, that defense, man, that is appealing to me because when is the last time that we had a good defender, like an exceptional defender in the infield?
Rafi Furcal?
Furcal's the last time we had an exceptional defender in the infield.
Right, that's about it.
And all this talk, and no way in hell Lindor's coming to L.A. I think Rendon has a better chance of coming to L.A. But
definitely,
Rendon and Cole.
Yeah. What about these boring ass white dudes we do already have in L.A.? Who survives this offseason when it comes to like Pollock, Peterson, even Gavin Lux, honestly, and Corey Seager. I like our boy Diamond Hoggers. Clint Evans said that Pollock he looked old overnight. And I don't think he ever fit this team in any way, shape, or form. But who survives? Like, are we gonna get blown away by like losing somebody big? I mean, obviously Bellinger's untouchable, but is it going to be a big time shocker finally this offseason, and we're going to lose maybe not even one of those guys? We're going to lose somebody else. Maybe they finally lump in Verdugo for some ungodly reason, and he's the guy we need. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, Verdugo would have been a difference maker, obviously, in
100%.
the playoffs, and he brings some flash and all that good stuff. I think this is going to be just like the end of 2014. It's going to be, like when they traded Kemp, it's going to be something like that. I think of all those guys you mentioned, Lux is most likely to stay. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't think they're trading him, and I still doubt they trade Seager, but you never know. Jock, he's only got one more year on his contract.
Yep.
And if they don't come to a multi-year deal, he's gone. I really like what Jock did this year.
Outside of the bad times, the dark times of when he played air quote first base.
God. Not his fault.
Definitely not his fault, but you know what? Hey guys, I'll cook that chicken for you. I don't know how to cook it. Just 2 minutes on each side. He doesn't know what he's doing. Don't say I'll do it. But I don't know. Peterson long hasn't made sense for this team. No, I can't say that. It's not that he didn't make sense for this team, but as they try to get away somewhat from the platoons and all that, he's not overly defensively gifted anywhere. He's way, way, way too streaky to have as your damn leadoff hitter for the last 4 seasons.
Speaking of which, do you think this is the year we finally get a true leadoff hitter?
Well, Lindor would fit that, but they'd probably bat him third.
Yeah, no, fifth.
Fifth?
Makes sense, yeah. Have him protect Bellinger.
No, it would be Doogie, I think, finally leading off. But
that's who I fit. That's who I want.
That's our only option at this point.
I think Peterson. They're not going to trade him. They're not going to offer him they're not going to extend him a qualifying offer after next season. You have to trade him now if you want any value out of him. And
they have to.
Like we were talking about last offseason, other organizations, other clubs see more value in Peterson than Dodger fans do. He's definitely a good player. Hey, he's been an all-star before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And, put up a couple of huge he put up a big home run derby, which is fun. He's one of those guys, like he would be – I don't know. I want to find a way to relate him to Andre Ethier, and the only way I can do that is that they both can hit left-handed pitching. But other organizations would like to have him. Other fan bases would like to have him. He won't be the same ilk of somebody going out and picking up Yasiel Puig, but other organizations could use him and market him much better than Los Angeles can, and they might have better use and better needs from hell. They might even let him start back in center again and play against left-handed pitching. But Peterson, for the right player, of course, not just to get rid of him, Peterson needs to go. Yeah. And it's probably going to be something like Puig. It's not going to be a name It's going to be somebody else, some more bodies that will help replenish.
Gosh, give me another Josiah Gray or Jeter
just
Downs.
one.
I'll take that. I'll
just
take
one.
I'll take one of those.
Give me another Homer Bailey.
Just straight up.
I just got word we lost on the Homer Bailey part.
No, is Homer Bailey still playing baseball?
Dodger legend Homer Bailey.
Yeah, Jock has long been on my list of. I think I'm trying to think of when I first wanted to trade him. I think it was 2016 was the first time I wanted to trade him, which he wasn't too far into his Dodger career at that point. Yeah, he doesn't fit in a lot of different ways. It makes sense that the Dodgers would look to get rid of him, and not in a bad way, in a good way, leave on good terms. There are a lot of teams who would love to have a guy who can hit 35 home runs a year for you, and he can do that for you. He hit 36 last year.
But since they didn't do it last year, his value's gone down a lot because the other team's only getting him for a year, even though he had his best year.
For sure they did. And I've said it for a long time. He fits the mold of a rebuild team in the sense that he's going to come for a year, he's going to hit some dongs, he's going to sell some tickets, and he's going to be the guy for 1 year, and then he's going to go get a deal somewhere, and it makes sense. And you don't have to give up anybody huge for him, but somebody decent, like you're talking about, a diamond in the rough, or somebody that we know that we have our eye on that's probably 4 or 5 years away from being something.
Yeah, they're single-A guys, rookie ball guys,
maybe, maybe the Rays give us another reliever or something like that.
I'm down with that.
Give me another Kolarek. Who's our best reliever in the postseason.
Yeah, Travis d'Arnaud.
Give us back our d'Arnaud. The legend. Give us back d'Arnaud.
d'Arnaud for Peterson, straight up. Who says no?
What are the chances here what are the chances that Pollock and Peterson survive the offseason, though? Like that feels to me like very, very slim.
I think Pollock survives it just because I think there's a face-saving thing going on.
Yep. They're like, we signed him, we traded away Puig and got him, and signed him to a decent-sized contract.
Yep. We're giving it one more shot.
Yeah, it makes sense. People seems pretty quick to like, oh yeah, he's going to be gone. And I was like, I don't think they're going to give up on him that fast if they committed so much money to him. I don't think that's happening.
Well, even with the money, it's still the AAV of $12 million is not that bad. Nope. I think he is still tradable.
Yep.
But I think that I just think they hold on to him for another year. They shouldn't have signed him in the first place. It's just I hate clogging up. He's 30. He was 31 when they signed him, and then you're clogging up your outfield for 5 years with a guy that's only going to start regressing.
He's not going to get better.
Plus, I mean, how long they finally got out of under having too many outfielders. And I understand it was a really rough point of it, too, because you didn't know if Verdugo was going to be a ready for primetime player. He'd been sitting around. Well,
just saying.
We knew, but not everybody knew. Yeah. And even so, extended major league pitching, you don't know how the league's going to adjust to him and all that. But you're looking at that. You finally got out from under Ethier and Kemp for years in some way, shape, or form, who – I mean, think of how long we've had too many outfielders. It's been like eight or 9 seasons where the Dodgers have had too many outfielders. You finally did it. You got rid of the Puig too, and you did pretty well. Eventually, it did prove that you did pretty well in the return. And then you go out and get a guy just to really say you did something. Again, to me, it really screamed panic signing.
Well, especially when in July, outfielders are cheap.
Yeah,
I mean, Castellanos cost hardly anything. Even the year before with J.D. Martinez, 2017?
Yeah.
He didn't cost that much at all just for the rental. Nope. It's like, okay, you put that out there instead of Pollock, and now you're just locked into something and blocking other guys.
Martinez is probably going to opt out. We go get him. Let's get more outfielders. Screw it. Give us all the outfielders.
10 outfielders.
And then
if they got rid of Peterson and Pollock, I'd love to have JD, but only for 1 year. That's it.
I have one question. There's 2 more questions I think we'll get through here, and then we'll let you go and go out and trick or treat because we know that's what you really want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've heard mixed opinions on whether or not DJ Peters is honestly being blocked at the major league level with so many strikeouts and all that. Maybe he's not quite the answer up at the big league level. Can you speak anything on anything you might have seen with DJ Peters either with your own eyes or just by the numbers? Is he a major league hitter for one, and is Pollock honestly blocking him?
Peters, I think, is still another year away. I mean, they held him back this year. He started the year in Double-A again, and he struggled. And then he went to Triple. Now, there's people that I've talked to, in Rancho Cucamonga, not part of the organization, but other people that have been there, other fans, other reporters and things, and they love him. They, and I say, well, what about the strikeouts? I go, no, he's just a really good player. He's an excellent athlete. The swing is big, but
so is he.
It seems like people don't care about that anymore.
No. It's very different, different game than we're used to back in the olden times.
Yeah, I still remember when we struck out in high school. This is a long time ago, obviously. I mean, it was like
swinging
back
40s.
Run back to the dugout because you suck because you struck out. Now it's like, hey, wow, great, you struck out. Congratulations.
Gonna bat flip my K's.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's next. So Peters is interesting. I think there's plenty of other guys also coming up too. And again, they're so easy to go get for cheap during the middle of the season if someone goes down. And I think that's, like I said, it's good to leave some room for guys like Peters in case he does break out. But it's like, why clog up the system when you can go trade for somebody? Just use them for half a year or maybe a year and a half for cheap. And it's just, that was a disappointment for me with the Dodgers with signing Pollock.
Well, we got Frank Talk LA in here. What's going on, Frank? How you doing, buddy? Says he doesn't think Pollock was a panic signing. We needed a righty batter, and he fit the bill for sure. I mean, understandably so. The Dodgers have been always way too left-hand heavy, and that's what you were even talking about earlier, Tim. I still think there was a better way to go about it or whatever. Plus, the Dodgers signing free agents, that's not what they do. They go out and trade. They make trades.
Yeah.
Make trades or we grow.
A Pollock for 2 years would have been a great contract.
Yeah.
But for 5 years, or 4.5, whatever, is it 4 and an option. And in 2018, he hit 209 against lefties. So, again, where's that? And the injury history, all that stuff just adds up to why.
Yeah. All right, the final topic here, the final quickie point we'll get to with you. SoCal Jew, plus name over here on Periscope, says Tampa Bay Dodgers won't spend big this offseason. Very, very good point, and that's really going to be I think the biggest underlying narrative of the entire offseason. Will the Dodgers exceed the luxury tax in 2020? We've seen the paperwork that says they're trying to stay under it for however many years that I forget right now, but are we going to be over that luxury tax threshold? And Brooke, I'm going to let you answer that one first, Brooke. I want to see your take on this.
Listen.
Sit back, boys.
I'm what am I? I don't even know what to call me. I like
Sometimes
prospects.
Boring.
I like holding on to prospects.
Prospect huggers on the phone here.
I don't like spending a lot of money. I like staying competitive long term. So, with that in mind, you can assume that I don't like big contracts. I don't like long contracts, and I don't like I don't really like free agency particularly. The Dodgers have stayed competitive for as long as they have because they've been smart with their money.
What?
I will say that. They've been smart with their money, and they've been smart with their prospects, with the exception of, Alvarez.
Gosh.
That's kind of a wash, honestly. Nobody knew what they were getting.
No. With that in mind,
Juan Soto was in the same international draft or period, by the way.
Exactly. Don't think about that too much. With that in mind, even I want the Dodgers to make a financial splash in free agency.
Wow.
Even I want that.
Damn.
I don't necessarily want them to sign anybody to a long-term deal still. I'm just so hesitant. I just can't wrap my head around long-term deals. I am all for paying Anthony Rendon ridiculous money for 2 to 3 years. I am all for that. And I think it sets us up nicely. I think they will. And I think that fits their bill, especially Friedman. He's definitely all about that. You guys know that with Bryce Harper, probably offered him a very high annual average in a very short-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
Probably did. People have said that. There's no way to really confirm that, but he probably did. With that, I think they will. I think they will spend some money. I think they will wheel a deal.
Are they going to be over that luxury tax threshold in 2020?
So my calculations from last year said they were a little bit below it, but there's other people that said they actually passed it this last year, and and so I don't know. They will. I think they could. That haunting report that for 4 years they're going to stay under. Is a factor. But if they did go over this last year, that makes it less likely they do it this year, because then they'll want to get back out of the tax, because then it resets again. If they were under, then maybe they're a little more likely to go over, because they're for what is it, secret baseball reasons or whatever.
Real inside baseball talk.
Yeah, all that. Oh gosh.
I hope he says something.
Just the greatest. Thank you, Mr. Caston. What is he, trash? Just kidding. I actually like Stan Caston.
He's a nice guy, but that's just not something you tell your fan base.
No.
Yeah, it was awful. So I don't get it myself. They have Magic Johnson and Billie Jean King as investors. These are champions. You'd think that they'd be up there going, I want to win, but it doesn't seem like they care.
No. Don't forget Moneybags Adam Smolinski or whatever his name is.
Oh, is that the guy? The guy from St. Louis, the guy that has his whole neighborhood with Dodger names. That's the guy that probably wants to win.
Yeah.
But it's just frustrating to see that. I have hope, like a 10% hope. It's kind of like getting Lindor. It's really not reality. But I just go, why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you want to bring? They had said when they bought this team that they wanted to create a dynasty. It's not a dynasty. Nick, you can't have a dynasty without a world championship or three. And
is that how that works?
I mean, even the not the Astros, the other one, Atlanta, the Braves aren't really considered a dynasty because they only picked up one in those 14 years.
Yeah,
guys, we're halfway there, and we don't have our one.
God,
if you look at it, both AJ Hinch and Jeffrey Luhnow were one win away from probably being in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
you get 2 World Series wins these days, you're in, and so if Friedman and Doc have any care, the legacy, and Caston with his legacy, I guess maybe that doesn't matter. I don't know. it's a frustration. I mean, I look at Zach Greinke. If Zach would have stayed with the Dodgers, I think he's an easy Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I've
now I think he's
too,
borderline.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what do you do? Why?
Yeah.
I guess it's just one of those things where those things. The players care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kershaw. I mean, we bag on him all the time, but no one wants it more. No one feels worse than that guy. And so I would hope that they're doing something, saying something.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know, but I don't think they're going to do what we want them to do. But even if they got 40+ million to deal with right now, unless if they can move Jock or something like that, that gets them closer to 50. That's a lot of money for Castellanos and or Odorizzi or guys like that, or Wheeler even, or they could do 35 million for Cole or Rendon.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the guys. Odorizzi's good. Again, he's not, to me, he's not that big of a difference maker. He's not going. The Dodgers need to win back us. They need to win back the fan base, and there are people that are more level-headed, like the three of us are, and there are more people here on the stream that might be more level-headed, and there's also times when we're all going to go apeshit about it and be like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? We don't deserve this. We go there and spend all of Brooks' money to go to 3 games. We deserve this. We deserve this championship already, or we deserve something. We deserve to feel like the Spectrum money combined with all of the concessions and all the other BS that we have to pay for, and it keeps going up.
Bad concessions. Let's be very clear about that. That food sucks.
Oh, it's absolute garbage.
It is bad.
Yeah,
it is very bad. I don't
but
like to admit that.
On that note, I do think they will go over the threshold, and I think more so they have no choice. They have no option but to, because their fan base deserves it, and I think finally this time through. At some point, you have to stop setting Dave Roberts up for this failure, because he has to hear this every offseason since he's had the job. That Roberts can't get it done. He doesn't make the right decisions and all that. Well, I mean, he's making decisions that he feels are right, and if these guys are getting their jobs done, then the decisions are right. Well, you got to have the right guys to do the right jobs, and so I think they spend money. I think they have to, and good money.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason that I renewed one more year for season tickets was the All-Star game.
Reasonable.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of the whole thing, and there's no way I'm doing it in 2021 if they're going to keep with the salary, with avoiding the luxury tax. There's just no way that I'm going to spend all that time and money and effort to sell my tickets on StubHub to do all that stuff. It's a pain. I love being able to go up there, but at a point you just go, I'm just better off watching it on TV for $120 or whatever I pay for MLB at bat.
Mm-hmm. Well, all that said, everything we've said today is probably going to be thrown out the window in about 2 weeks.
Good.
Give us winter meetings, guys. Give us winter meetings. But
please,
Tim,
in San Diego.
We're gonna see. We'll see each other down there for sure. I think we have to go there. I'm gonna drag Brooke and pretend he's gonna, or force him to have pretend fun.
I like pretend fun. It's my favorite kind.
Pretend fun will be great.
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Well, have yourself a good night. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, I'll be by to trick or treat in a while.
Thank you, Tim.
We locked the door.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye, buddy.
We have empty beer cans.
Oh yeah, that's about all we have. So I saw here we have Jim. Jim says Rendon 120 for 3 years. That seems a bit excessive.
120 for 3 years?
Yeah, seems a bit excessive. Jimothy, what are you on? But I'm down.
Well, I mean, that's kind of right in their wheelhouse of what they're looking for. I don't know about 3 years though. I'd say 2 years, 80.
God, that's just so dumb.
How about
so
2
much
years,
money.
70?
All right, guys. We're obviously this show's gone on a lot longer than we anticipated, so we got to get to the headlines. We got to get through to some of our final quickies that we had here, somewhat semi prepared, but to keep you guys in the loop with what's going on. Cody Bellinger won a well-deserved award, which is the Fielding Bible Award for right field. He usurps Mookie Betts, who I think has won it the last 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
So Way to go, Cody. Hopefully that's the first of several awards you get this offseason.
Hopefully.
We've teased it for now for a little while. We probably should have brought it up earlier, but in non-shocking news, Kenley Jansen didn't walk away from a butt ton of money. Stays for the next 2 years and $38 million.
Insert the boo.
And it's also like, but whatever the opposite of that is. And? What?
Yeah, that's you.
Let's see what else. Oh, the Dodgers added a guy to their 40-man to protect him from the from the Rule 5 draft, not the 50-yard draft.
Oh,
yeah, but
it's different.
He's Victor Gonzalez. You'll probably see him throwing for Los Dodgers at some point next season. That's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
I'm just listening. You're doing well.
In case you didn't know, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Our friends, the Beatty Bunch, Matt and Jessica Beatty, are launching a sponsorship in Tennessee, which is really cool. The Beatty Fund will host its first golf tourney and a picnic and baseball camp, which, I mean, honestly, I want to go.
It's called the Beatty Fund?
The Beatty Fund.
Oh, that's cute.
The
I love them.
Fund.
They're great people.
But they're going to be doing that in Tennessee, so they're doing that next weekend, the 9th and the 10th. It's a 2-day thing, Saturday and Sunday. So if you can't make it out to Dresden, Tennessee, which I don't blame you if you can't, but AJ, you better get your ass up there.
Oh, he does live there in Tennessee.
If you're not going to be out there for the weekend of November 9th, you can still help out. You can go to either of their social media. I believe they do have the link on there, but I think it's on Eventbrite. There's still ways just to donate, which is kind of cool. Help them out, you know. He's a rookie. He's still on rookie money, and he's finding a way to donate some towards helping a scholarship. So that's really cool. And I said sponsorship. I meant scholarship. That's what they're doing. Final points, Brooke.
Hello.
You have some plans for me this offseason, it seems, on the tweeter.
Listen. I really think I can get people on board with the idea.
You got Matt on board.
Matt Beatty is on board. He liked the tweet, so that means he's on board. I take that as a verbal commitment to the plan.
Yes.
We would like to get Clint to the Dodgers fantasy camp because that would be quality content. And if you would like to support that, drop in the comments below so I can start like a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something because I'm getting him there, guys, because it's going to be fun.
I mean, I'm down. It's going to be bad. I will probably just be on the floor writhing in pain most of it.
Can I watch the games if I come? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I can probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll let you.
Do I need press credentials for your games? Because I'm down.
Oh, I'll only do it if you get a hat, like one of the old school derbies that has a thing that says like press on it.
Oh, heck
press, and then pull.
So get FRG to fantasy camp.
Yeah, and that will be the stepping stone to where I get to the 2020 All-Star Game thing, the celebrity softball game.
And then you get your contract.
Boom, easy.
And then I don't have to work anymore.
Looks like
I get to ride your coattails to victory.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm somehow a part of this.
Yeah. I mean, you're the one who would have started it all. It basically makes you my agent.
You owe me. All right.
I think that makes you my agent.
Call me Brooke Morris.
Final thing I had. So I made a new friend this week.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the news is hurting by this point in the season that the World Series has gone on that long and you were bounced weeks ago. So I wrote a piece on our DodgersNation.com about, hey, Milton Bradley, former Dodger outfielder, sold his damn house in Encino. Well, I mean, I was straight up in the thing. You know, he's had some struggles with the law since his playing career ended. But Milton Bradley himself, who I've met before, I've actually played mini golf with him before, which is just an odd thing to say. I did not get hurt, but Milton Bradley DM'd me on Instagram about that. He's like, pretty much told me new wife, new life, new kid, and all that kind of stuff. I'm doing good. And I was like, awesome. I'm cool, honestly very glad to hear that. And he also told me that the Eagles are trash and the Cowboys rule. It's like, you know what? All right, cool on the other stuff, but screw that. F them boys. Them boys ain't those boys is trash. But
them boys is garbage.
But today he this was a couple days ago, and he sent me another DM randomly. Like he hearted my my response, and that was it. And then he sent me another DM where it's a kid in a trash can with an Eagles logo on it, and it's the kid nailed his Eagles costume for Halloween. So come on, Milton. I thought we was cool now, man. It's kind of cold-blooded. I'm just saying.
I want a trash-talking famous friend. No, I don't. I'm sensitive. Never mind. I'm very sensitive.
You have.
Please don't attack me on the internet. I'll cry.
He does cry. It's
I cry
pretty
a
funny.
lot, guys. Didn't Milton Bradley get hurt in a fight?
He had
Did he like tear his ACL in a fight?
He tore his ACL or
trying to
MCL,
get to an
whatever.
umpire.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah, I think it was actually was it
Like
Dave?
pushing past the coach.
It might have been Dave Roberts
As first base coach.
No, he wasn't first base coach that early. He was still playing. I think they were on the same team at that point. But
That makes sense. Yeah.
it was the first base coach who helped, or whoever it was. But
Helped.
yeah, helped in that situation. But he did go on from there to rehab and eventually get an all-star nom in Texas, and then get some good money in Chicago Cubs with the Cubs, and then they traded him, and then he was out of baseball, which is unfortunate. Most of it was some injury issues, but a lot of it was just attitude. And if he's in a better spot now, that's cool. It's all the better because back in our day, he was good. He was a good dude.
We want the best for you, Milton.
He was fun
wherever you may be.
He was a good player. He was
Clint's DMs.
he was Puig before he was Puig. Finally, one final topic, which is I think a thing we got to remember to stick to doing the entire offseason.
Weekly.
Yeah. As we end the show, we got to say hi, Tina Hill.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina. I don't think she's watching. She's probably not watching. That's okay.
If anybody's watching, mash that heart button now. We appreciate you. But, guys, you can find us on the internet. We are DodgersNation.com. Check it out. Subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, all the spots. Just Google Blue Heaven Podcast. You'll probably find us.
Probably. We're on a couple different things I've heard.
Allegedly.
I've heard. You guys, I am at BrookMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. This guy over here without his headphones on is at RealFRG on Twitter and the Instagram. We are at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Official Dodgers Nation on Instagram, because some jerk took that from us. Huge thank you to our crack production team, which is him. It's this guy. It's just him. It's literally just him.
I do it.
Thank you guys all for your questions and comments. Thank you for participating. Keep those questions coming next week. Be thinking about free agency, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Moving to Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.